And for the topic of the day is self-awareness and sisterhood. Self-awareness and sisterhood.
People know they're self-aware, but if you don't know how to act on it, then you're not really as self-aware as you think.
I usually say garbage in, garbage out, and whatever you cannot give what you don't have. So impact yourself first and work on yourself. If you feel like they're draining you, well and good.
By the way, kuna kijana, unajua Ian amekuwa akinichanganya nini, and I really want us to be together. Unaniambia Ian, acha nikwambie, ufanye hivi na hivi na hivi. Alafu tunakuja friend dinner or something, na kuna una turn up na Ian, are you mad?
You know, as adulting is adulting, right now is the real intentionality that comes in. But if you are self-aware as a person, you get to now be intentional with us. Come on, make quite distant, you can reach out.
So today's game is sing the artist song, right? Sing the artist song.
Nyashinski!
Aya basi, sing for us. Twende nalo.
Uko sawa na wote malaika na mabawa ya wote wanakita wewe mama ya.
Everywhere, GBS.
And welcome back now to international news. Brazil's Supreme Court has ordered that the former right-wing president Jair Bolsonaro be put under house arrest. He is on trial of allegations that he plotted a coup. The judge in charge of investigation, Alexander, said the decision was because he hadn't complied with the restraining orders. Have a look.
The US President Donald Trump has used Bolsonaro's trial, which he calls a witch hunt, as a justification for imposing 50% tariff on some Brazilian goods, despite the US having a trade surplus with Brazil.
Formula was a formula based on common sense, based on deficits, based on how we've been treated over the years. Brazil, as an example, has been not good to us, not good at all.
Mr. Moraes, who the US also sanctioned, said Bolsonaro had used the social network of his allies, including his sons, to spread messages that encouraged attack on the Supreme Court and foreign intervention in the Brazilian judiciary. Mr. Moraes also banned Bolsonaro from receiving visits, except from lawyers or people authorized by the Supreme Court, and from using a mobile phone directly or through third parties.
So we don't want an emperor. Our countries are sovereign. If Trump issues tariffs, other countries have the right to do the same. There is the reciprocity law. I think it's irresponsible for a president from a country like the US to threaten the world with tariffs on social media. Honestly, there are other forums for the president of a country the size of the United States to talk to other countries.
These restrictions were imposed because of the allegations he was encouraging Donald Trump to interfere in the case. Trump and Bolsonaro enjoyed a friendly relationship when their presidencies overlapped, with the pair meeting at the White House in 2019.
It's obvious that I received this news with great indignation. It's another sad chapter in Brazil's history. We are now officially under a dictatorship where a single person orders the imprisonment of a former president of the republic.
Davis Karani, GBS News.
A fresh blow to South Africa's economy as US has confirmed a 30% tariff on local exports, placing thousands of jobs at risk. Key sectors like agriculture and automotives are in firing line, and with unemployment already at record high. Let's have a listen.
South Africa is sounding the alarm of a new 30% tariff imposed by the United States, warning that up to 30,000 jobs could be lost. The country's agriculture and automotive industries, already under pressure, are expected to take the hardest hit.
The number of jobs likely to be affected. We base this on the ongoing consultations that we have with all the sectors of the economy, from automotive, agriculture, and all the other sectors that are going to be impacted. And at this stage, we are sitting at approximately 30,000 jobs that could be affected by this if it were to be mismanaged in any manner.
I am concerned about it. So I am from a farming community. My parents are farmers. We know the citrus industry very well. Very concerned for the citrus industry as they do export a lot of products to America. And they do employ a lot of people, so that is a big concern. Obviously, they have plans to supply this year, so what's going to happen with all that product? I also work for an American company, so the impact on me personally is also quite concerning. You know, how is the future looking for my job?
And then 30% is drastic, so a lot of people are going to lose jobs, and already the government is struggling to create more jobs as it is, and I don't see them creating any more jobs again. So it's going to probably be up to the entrepreneurs. Entrepreneurs are going to have to somehow find a way to bring back the economy, but then at the end of the day, a lot of people are going to lose.
The tariffs signed into effect by President Donald Trump just before the August 1st deadline leave South Africa among the 5 most heavily penalized nations.
The US is South Africa's 3rd biggest trading partner, with the European Union and China being the 1st and 2nd largest trading partners. The US accounts for 7.5% of our global exports. Thus, we will continue to engage the US with a view to conclude a deal that advances the interests of both countries. South Africa seeks to conclude deals that promote value addition and industrialization, rather than extractive relations that deprive the country of the ability to beneficiate our mineral wealth by mimicking extractive colonial-era trade relations.
With the US accounting for 7.5% of South Africa's exports, the economic fallout could be severe, especially with unemployment already at 32.9%.
The diversification of markets that will be required following the introduction of additional tariffs on South African goods may require exporters to coordinate their activities in relation to developing joint infrastructure for exports, sharing of market information, and coordination of activities to achieve economies of scale and efficiencies that enable them to be competitive. These activities may contravene the provisions of the Competition Act.
Government officials say they are drafting urgent support measures for affected exporters and intensifying diplomatic talks with Washington.
We are talking about the livelihoods and jobs of people that are at stake. So that's why we're focused on the ball, on the negotiations, on the framework, and we did not want to focus on the speculations, whether it's because of BEE or affirmative action or any other politics that has not been brought to the negotiation table. So we focus on what we have presented to the US government, and we believe we're dealing with that.
There are also plans to coordinate a broader response with global partners. The tariffs are set to take effect on August 8th. Elvin Muyodi, GBS News.
Thousands of people attended the annual Mask Festival in Porto Novo, the capital city of Benin, over the weekend. The event showcases Benin's rich cultural heritage. Locals as well as visitors were treated to cultural performances. Let's have a listen.
The Mask Festival, the annual cultural festival in Benin's capital Porto Novo, lived up to its expectations over the weekend. Thousands who turned up for the event got the chance to witness the rich tradition and heritage of the Benin nation, the true identity and pride of the locals, as they say. This is what defines us, our unity. We are one of the African nations that are still proud to keep our culture. People think Benin is just about sorcery. No, no. This is our true identity.
Et nous sommes fiers d'être béninois.
Special and elaborate costumes were used to tell different significant stories.
Le Festival des Masques renforce à coup sûr l'attrait touristique. Parce que le chef de l'État.
This is economic tourism. The event repositions Benin and also tells the African continent story.
Notre identité qui apparemment rentre dans l'oubli.
Accompanied by dancing and singing, the colorful and vibrant event draws visitors from locals and beyond.
A newly released Hamas video has raised fresh concerns in Israel after showcasing hostage Aviatar David visibly emaciated and distressed inside a Gaza tunnel. The footage, which surfaced late Monday, offered a grim glimpse into the conditions of those still held captive now. Former hostage Tel, who was freed in a previous deal, said he immediately recognized the tunnel since it was in the video. Let's have a listen.
I immediately recognized it. Been more than 8 months together underground in this tunnel. I saw that Aviatar is completely crushed. I mean, he's only an empty shell of himself, of the Aviatar I knew in the most extreme times that we had together, most extreme and cruel situation we've been together in. And right now he's looking even worse than that. And I could actually see in his eyes that he believed that it's actually will be his grave in the tunnel, in this tomb, in hell, where Guy and Aviatar is staying, and all the rest of the hostages. What they need to do is condemn Hamas.
Keep streaming through our social media platform at GBS TV Africa. I'll be right back.
But what is the problem? The problem, people don't want to hear the voice of Jesus, and they don't want to live through the voice of Jesus. But most of the time, people are living their life of struggling. The people who died before receiving Jesus Christ, the people who died in sin, those people, they will go to the judgment, they will go to the fire, and those people will say that they are dead because they will face the second death, which is the hellfire. People without knowing this, people think that, no, I should do something. No, I need to do something. Why? Because they don't know exact heart of God. They don't know exact will of God. And through this, God allowed His goodness. God allowed the problems in our life. And when God allowed this goodness leads us to
Stay tuned as we dive into the vibrant world of creativity and expression.
Practice your work.
Yes.
And when you keep on practicing, you get better,
Yes.
better and better each day.
Yes.
And as you get better,
Yes.
you get now that niche of yours. Yes.
What advice can you give to those watching who are in a 9-to-5 job, but they have a gift?
My advice would be,
Yes.
do not sleep on your talent.
Yes.
Just show it up to the world.
To the world.
Whether it is art, whether it is music, wherever you are gifted, let the world know what you are doing.
Which classic artist would you love to spend one day painting with, and why?
Grandma Moses. She started painting in her 70s.
Oh.
And she excelled.
Yes.
As, she was a painter.
Yes.
But she started painting professionally
Yes.
well past 70s.
Wow.
And by the time she died in 102, she had done marvelously in the art world.
Everywhere, GBS.
Welcome back. Tensions along the Lebanon-Israel border continue to draw international concern. The United Nations say its peacekeepers in the southern Lebanon have observed ongoing Israeli military activity, including airstrikes and direct fire. Let's have a look.
Tensions remain high in southern Lebanon, where UN peacekeepers are closely monitoring the situation on the ground. The United Nations says its interim force in Lebanon, known as UNIFIL, has observed ongoing military activities by the Israeli Defense Forces, including airstrikes by fighter jets and drones, and direct fire near the Blue Line, in the eastern sector.
In southern Lebanon, the peacekeepers of the UN Interim Force in Lebanon have observed continued Israeli Defense Forces military activities, including air attacks by fighter jets and drones, as well as direct firing from south of the Blue Line in Sector East. UNIFIL peacekeepers on Thursday detected 2 tunnels with 20 rockets inside, as well as another weapons cache containing rockets and fuses in Sector East. All of them were reported to the Lebanese army.
That same day, UNIFIL troops worked alongside the Lebanese armed forces to clear a blocked road between the towns following damage from recent hostilities.
That same day, UNIFIL peacekeepers supported the Lebanese armed forces in clearing a section of the road between Kfar Killa and El Adessa in Sector East, which had been blocked by debris from the recent hostilities.
Through July, UNIFIL also carried out joint training operations with the Lebanese army, focusing on patrols, setting up checkpoints, and safely disposing of unexploded ordnance.
UNIFIL conducted 6 training activities with the Lebanese army deployed in southern Lebanon in July, focusing on patrolling, checkpoint setup, identification and disposal of unexploded ordnances, and counter-IED tactics.
And at the sea, the UN's Maritime Task Force conducted 18 training missions with Lebanon's Navy and Air Force between March and July, building readiness for maritime violation and emergency response.
UNIFIL's Maritime Task Force, between March and July, carried out 18 training activities with the Lebanese Air Force and Navy on hailing procedures and response measures during maritime violations, as well as landing procedures.
Susan Nganga, GBS News, Lebanon.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is reportedly considering the seizure of parts of Gaza as tensions escalate following the breakdown of indirect ceasefire negotiations with Hamas. According to a senior Israeli official, increased military pressure, including possible territorial control, may be on the table as Netanyahu prepares to convene his security cabinet later this week. The Gifford Fire, which broke out on the 1st of August, is located within the Los Padres National Forest in Solvang in California, impacting residents in the coastal counties of Santa Barbara.
Nearly 2,000 firefighters were struggling to contain the fire that had already scorched more than 72,000 acres and was only 3% contained as of 7 p.m. Evacuation orders and warnings were issued for areas in the 2 counties, and State Road 166 was closed due to flames on both sides of the road. At least 3 injuries as a result of the fire were reported. The cause of the fire remains under investigation, but authorities say the blaze grew out of multiple smaller fires along State Road 166 between the cities of Santa Maria and Bakersfield.
For the very first time, China is hosting the World Humanoid Robot Games, an international sporting event where AI-powered robots will compete in everything from football, marathons to boxing. 30 teams from around the world, including United States, Brazil, Germany and Portugal, are registered to take part, with robot soccer as the headline attraction. One team attracting attention is the Shanghai team from China Agricultural University, who recently finished second at the RoboCup Humanoid Soccer World Cup held in Brazil this June. But these machines are no ordinary gadgets.
This is the Shanghai team from China Agricultural University, runner-up of the RoboCup Humanoid Soccer World Cup in Brazil. They're equipped with advanced visual sensors and can even stand up on their own after falling down. And while they might look a bit rickety, the teams behind them say the gap between robots and humans is preparing for the inaugural World Humanoid Robot Games later this month.
As they say, the future is already here, but is not evenly distributed. Now, it is time for us to take a break for the sports news. Two-time African champion Angela Okutoi will lead the youthful Kenyan women's tennis team as they begin their campaign in Group C of the 2025 Billie Jean King Cup, currently underway in Namibia till the 9th of August. The Billie Jean King Cup, named in 2020 to honor the legendary American tennis icon, is the world's premier international women's team tennis competition. With Okutoi at the helm and a motivated support cast, Kenya's hopes of earning promotion are alive as well as the action unfolds in Namibia. Kenya is pooled alongside Zimbabwe, Algeria and Tunisia, with all teams set to compete in a round-robin format. The team from each group will advance to the promotional playoffs for a chance to move up to Europe/Africa Group 2 in 2026. Former Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey has been granted conditional bail after appearing in a London court on charges of rape and sexual assault. The 32-year-old Ghanaian international faces 5 counts of rape involving 2 women and 1 count of sexual assault against a third woman relating to incidents between 2021 and 2022 while he was at Arsenal. Nigeria extended their dominance in the African women's basketball with a commanding 78-64 win over Mali in the 2025 FIBA Women's Afro-Basket Final in Abidjan, claiming their 5th straight continental title. The win not only cemented Nigeria's place in Afro-Basket history with a record 29 consecutive wins, but also booked them a spot in the World Cup qualifying tournaments ahead of the 2026 FIBA Women's World Cup in Berlin. Mali, chasing their first title since 2007, were left to settle for a second silver in the 3 editions, falling to the Nigerians again. It was a repeat of the 2021 final, and though Mali started strong, Nigeria took control in the 3rd quarter and held on. Even as Mali briefly cut the gap to 4 points late in the game, in the 3rd place playoff, debutants South Sudan pulled off a dramatic 66-65 win over Senegal. Well, we've come to the end of the news bulletin. It is always a pleasure having you on board. Let's do this again next time. Same channel. My name is Stephen George, and our sign language interpreter tonight has been Alan Kiema. Good night.
Everywhere, GBS.